This time on One Foot Flipper, I'm back, baby. Stay tuned.
One-foot-flipper.
So, recently, viewer Jessica reached out to us. She had heard in one of my videos that my wife Amanda loves to put wreaths on the front door, changes them out all the time. She said, well, my company, Susabel, makes wreaths, and we've got quite a few different ones. Why don't I send you one out? So, they sent us one out.
So I'm taking my old one off.
And let's see the new one we got Jessica from Susabel sent us.
This gorgeous one with purple flowers.
That is nice.
So you arrange the flowers once you get it out of the box. And then hang it on your door.
All right. And if you want to get a wreath like that, there is a link right down in the description. Hey, Jessica, thanks so much for thinking of us. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Paige here, the One Foot Flipper. It has been a great week. I've continued to improve my business, clean up my basement even more. I'd show it off, but it always basically looks the same, but you just don't know how much I got rid of and threw away this week. I filled about 5 trash cans. The trash men probably weren't happy about that, but that's all gone now. I just keep finding areas in my house that have been untouched for years and getting rid of the stuff, because when I got married to my wife, I had previously lived in a pretty big apartment. My apartment was as big as the main floor, bigger than the main floor of my house, and it had a large storage area in the basement, and that was all full. And my wife had come off of having a small house of her own, so a whole bunch of stuff just got jammed into storage, where it just sat for 13 years, and I've been just getting rid of that. Very few of those areas remain in my house now, which gives me more room for the business stuff and just less anxiety. And also has given me thousands of dollars worth of more listings that I just pulled out of that, death pile there. And my eBay sales have come back. This is Sunday at noon, and so far for this weekend, I've got about $1,000 to ship out after I finish filming this video, plus whatever sells today. So let's see all that stuff lined up on the bar. That's just the stuff from the main account. That's not any of the cards or the stuff from the bad account. So let's get over there and take a look at that. Oh wait, before I do, look at what I found. I got this Pepsi cooler vending machine here. Got that for $5. It's actually pretty rare. Last one sold on eBay sold for 150 bucks. I kind of like it and kind of want to use it a little bit, so I put mine up at $250, and I'll just drop the price on it over time and take offers. And once somebody eventually buys it, then I'll let it go, but I'm going to enjoy it until then. All right, let's get to the sales. All right, let's do some sales. If I predict things right, my dog will start barking any instant now. I sold this circuit board set. Giant thing. There's 2 boards on there, and then there's one giant circuit board that runs the length of this. This is the brains to the arcade game arch rivals, Atari, roughly circa 1989 or so. Now, by that time, most of the Japanese companies had their circuit boards down to about this big, or maybe the size of these two. Not Atari. They did their own thing. Giant thing. I have probably owned this 20 to 25 years. I didn't even realize I still had it. I never listed it for sale before because I didn't want to ship it. But I finally listed it. Sold for $45 in about 3 days. And the person also bought a wiring harness for 10 bucks, which is in there. That circuit board would be worth more money, but it uses special joysticks, not the standard ones, so you've got to locate those, and it's so big and heavy that its weight does detract from the value somewhat. Sold Neil Diamond, $3.08. Now, in efforts to get out of cards, I've literally just been filling boxes with my unlisted cards in large quantities, putting cheap prices on them, and they've been going. This box is 400 cards for the Terminator collectible card game, sold in 1 to 2 days for $37.26. That particular game has had a huge run-up in value in the last few years. The cards and sealed boxes of that game used to be worthless, and now they're money. No, the distribution chain finally ran out of the sealed ones. Yamaha Porta Sound electronic keyboard, partially working. The keyboard playing works fine. The automated music does not work. This sold for $18. I had $3 into that from an estate sale. Estate sales are rarely worth it for me. Sold about $35 worth of bumper stickers. I listed a bunch of bumper stickers a few weeks ago. eBay standard envelope, and sold a whole bunch of them over the weekend. This is a replacement part to the Dream Phone game. So I spent about a half hour repairing the box. Why don't we test it out? I've always wondered who my Dream Boy is. Let's find out.
Hello, I'm Carrie, American Arbitrage. How are you?
Oh my! The Dream Phone game I had was put together from 2 different ones, so it had a bunch of extra pieces. And this piece sold for $261 plus shipping. I am thinking about shipping this, stamp an envelope with non-machinable, and pocketing about $4.80 worth of shipping. I'm not sure. Depends on whether or not I actually have the stamps upstairs. This new phone I've got falls asleep way too fast. How do I get the phone to keep from falling asleep every 15 seconds? Let me know down in the comments. Of course, I had my wife specifically get this item for me, and I carried it downstairs, and I didn't carry it over here somehow. So we'll move on to the next item. This is a Magic the Gathering playmat. Slightly damaged, sold for $5. It's been listed for a very long time. It's like a $20 mat if it's not damaged, but that one has a chunk out of it. This next one came from the Goodwill bins. I saw a whole bunch of loose Lego, but not Lego looking building stuff. It ended up being Playmobil stuff. Put a picture of it up on the screen here. And I shuffled it all into a bag and bought it. And got $58.50 for the lot of it. It seemed to be put together from 2 different sets, a minimum of 2 different sets, because it had signs from 2 different sets on it. Thermos stainless steel mug, $9. This is a Goodwill bins buy. There were actually 2 of these, identical in the same bin. They both sold in less than a month. Sold another wiring harness. Another arcade game wiring harness, another $10. Nothing really to look at. It's just a whole bunch of just a big jumble of wires. Somebody very much was trying to get a deal on this. They messaged me multiple times wanting low prices before finally taking my 10% off offer. This is a Tau Riptide battle suit that I've had to repair, and it doesn't have any drones with it. It's supposed to have drones, and it sold for $69.84. What have we got here in a plastic bag? That is a great question. What is in the bag? It is a remote control, Transformers, the Last Night. Oh, look, here's his weapon. And here's his remote. This sold for $10.82. I believe I paid $3 for it at a garage sale last year. So it took quite a while to sell. In this box right here, 1,400 Pokemon cards, but it's almost all hotness. It's like 80% of this box is either rares, holos, or cards from the first 2 years of the game. You know, there's no $300 Charizard in here or anything, but it is a box of mostly interesting stuff that I was going to list as singles, and instead I sold in under an hour for $80. So I had a lot of various ticket stubs to sporting events, because three different collections I bought had sports stuff, major amounts of sports stuff in it, and there were lots of ticket stubs. I was going to list them one by one. I said, how about this? I'll put them all in one lot. I spread 70 ticket stubs out on the counter, took a picture of it, sold for $35 in 10 minutes. This is a lot of 425 Pokemon cards, same as the last lot, 80% cool stuff and hotness. This sold in about 3 hours for $24.28. Vintage photography item, Tiffin 77mm filter, $9. I'm gonna have a lot to pack today. I was gonna go out to the Goodwill bins this afternoon, but with so much I've got to pack, I don't think so. I did get to go out to garage sales yesterday though. Got that Pepsi machine I showed you earlier. Actually ended up with a bunch of Nike stuff, which is odd because I normally avoid clothes, but the thing is my back will only still let me walk so much per day, and it's very much exaggerated with neighborhood sales because I've only got about 30 seconds to recover from one sale to the next sale. So I ended up taking what I could get. Got a bunch of Christmas stuff. Got a cool Donald Duck thing. I'll throw a picture of it up here. Should be good for $35, and I put 50 cents into it. Phone fell asleep again. Love that. And all right, let's some more sales. Another Playmat Ultra Pro Relic something or other, $5.46. I will likely take this out of the box and ship it without the box. I believe my listing for this does not indicate a box, and the box usually jacks the shipping price up to the over 13 ounce rate or over 12 ounce rate, which I don't like, and nobody saves and loves and hugs those boxes forever. They don't care. Sold a Geneva ladies watch, just a generic off-brand, $10. Sold very quickly though. Normally those kind of things don't sell very fast for me, but I was careful about I used as many keywords as I could, and I didn't promote it or anything, and it sold in a week or two. Not bad. Got this mug from the JDF. Jimmy the Dolphin Flipper. You may have seen him in my shorts, or he's been showing up on other people's channels too recently. He does not do his own channel though. That's because he's got a big day job as some sort in finance, and they don't want him to, and he doesn't want to have a professional social media in which he makes money, because then he has to disclose that to his company. So he just shows up on other people's channels, and mostly his reselling he likes to do. He's only interested in certain things, selling himself, watches, automobile memorabilia. Those are his things. But when he's out sourcing and he finds, good stuff, he'll buy it and he'll just pass it along to me, and I'll put some money on a spreadsheet, like this mug here that I believe sold for $18. This phone is killing me. Nope, $16.93. It was $18, but it took an offer. 26 large-scale model train telephone poles, $28.08. Ooh. Some Warhammer Tau Fire Warriors, $21.82. Those are just kind of generic shooty guys for the Tau group. I sold a golf club for $20. It's a KFG 450 Tour. Sold for $20. The person sent me a message to send it to another address. Normally I don't do that, but it's a golf club. I don't really think it's a scam, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it because I want my golf clubs out of here. It's not that I dislike golf clubs. It's just I live in the Midwest. I don't live in a low income area, but I certainly don't live in a high income area. There are not a lot of golf courses really close to me, and the quality of golf clubs here is just not great, and they're difficult to store for me because I don't have a good place to store them anywhere in my work area. I'd have to knock down an entire shelf that would be much more productive for non-golf club things to actually have a good place to store them. So anytime a golf club shows up for me to send an offer, I'm pretty aggressive on it. Forgot to pull it for some reason, so I'll put it up on the screen. A bootleg vintage mystery Miss Pac-Man hand soldered daughter board. See the difference. The Pac-Man arcade game had a circuit board. The Miss Pac-Man arcade game used that same circuit board and added a little small one to it that plugged into it, and then the CPU got moved over to the small board, and there's a couple of chips and whatever. But this one is made by hand, which means it's some sort of bootleg for sure, but it might also have interesting differences to the game. because often the bootleg ones did. So that's why I listed it. Nobody's going to use this, but somebody might want to dump those chips, and there are people who collect things like that. So that's why I listed it, and it sold for $15. All right, let's get back to the rest of it. If you ever want a reason not to sell things on Facebook Marketplace other than the obvious ones that are already there, then check this out. My Facebook account currently has restrictions on it. I can't create ads, I can't create live videos, and I cannot start or join calls. There's no telling as to when this end is in sight. Why is this? I posted a link to my video. Are $5,000 Beanie Babies on eBay really money laundering, or is it even worse? This was immediately flagged as terrorism content, and when I asked for the review, within 3 minutes later, it came back. The review came back saying, nope, this has been looked at. This is terrorist content, and thus my account is now in the doghouse. Obviously, they didn't watch the content. It's just for using the wrong phrase. That phrase was money laundering. One of my other friends apparently tried searching a mega sale on Facebook. Try searching that. Comes up with a thing saying that it's something you wouldn't want to be searching for. I'll just say that. Some of these platforms are getting out of hand with their blanket blocking of words that don't make any sense in trying to make something safer or better, and when in reality they're just making things worse. All right, back to the rest of the video. All right, it's a couple hours later. I got all that packed except for that big circuit board. I'm going to save that for tomorrow just because my wife has more than enough to carry in the morning as it is. And now I've got to go upstairs and ship cards. Unfortunately, I've got cards on both accounts now, which is no fun at all. But hey, I think that's all I got for today. If you know anybody who's not having any fun, why don't you tell them about this channel? Thanks. Hope to see you again soon.